All right, guys. This is Andre or Chokenator if you know me from my stream, and I want to talk about why I love Magikarp. And there's a reason. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. So recently, I've been playing Pokemon Go. I've been. I guess I never stopped playing Pokemon Go since 2016. But recently, there was something called the Water Festival, and I caught a Magikarp, and it has perfect stats. So it was my first Pokemon ever with perfect stats. So in Pokemon Go, you have stats 0 through 15, either attack, defense, or HP. They can be at certain levels, but this was my first perfect stat Pokemon. And the thing about Magikarp in that game is that it takes a long time to evolve, just like in the original games, right? In the original games, you need to get this useless level 5 Magikarp with no attacks to get it to level 20 somehow. It learns tackle at level 15, but its attack is so dismal that you probably should use other Pokemon to help it out in battle, right? In Pokemon Go, you have to walk around uh, to get 400 candy. Now, how do you get candy? You have to catch a bunch of Magikarp. Now, the Magikarp are somewhat rare unless you live by water in Pokemon Go, so you basically have to set it as your buddy and walk around to get 400 candy. Now, how often do you get candy? So you get one candy every 3 kilometers. So essentially, if you catch a Magikarp and walk 1,200 kilometers, you'll get a Gyarados eventually. But usually it doesn't take that long. You can give it rare candies, or you can catch other Magikarp to increase your number of candies, and eventually you'll get a Gyarados. I still don't have the perfect Gyarados. It's coming soon. I probably need like 30, 40 more candies, but it's coming soon. Anyway, the story arc is there of Magikarp, right? So you're at this really low. Imagine this is like a like a line graph, right? And Magikarp is at this very low state, basically useless for a long, long time, and then it just shoots up in value like this, right? Like a straight up, and then you have Gyarados all the way up here. Now, every other Pokemon that evolves, either you get a not evolving Pokemon that stays at a baseline, and you just make it stronger and stronger. Now you have Squirtle and Bulbasaur who uh, they're here, and they're slowly growing, learning more moves, and then they shoot up a little bit when they evolve. You have Ivysaur learning more moves, and then you become Venusaur, and then blah blah blah, and you get, I guess, Mega Venusaur nowadays, right? And that's how the value that's how it grows, right? And the return on investment is pretty gradual, so the dopamine is going to keep you going because you're getting more moves, you're leveling up, you're getting stronger stats. Now Magikarp stays here, level 5 through level 15, it's all the same, and then it learns tackle, but it's still totally useless, right? So, and then you get Gyarados, right? And it learns all these crazy moves, and it has super high stats, great abilities, and I mean, it's not the strongest water Pokemon ever, but it's very worthwhile, and higher base, higher stats than a bunch of other water Pokemon. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is that the story arc of Magikarp just it represents something to me personally, where you're gonna be at a this sort of gradual increase for a long time, and then eventually you kind of reach this certain point because you know the potential of Magikarp, that the value just shoots up. And there's something very personal for that in that arc for me, because I feel like for me it's taken such a long time for me to reach my potential, but it might look something like that. Maybe I'm more of a Bulbasaur, and it's like I'm slowly growing in my skills, but I feel like there's a Magikarp in me, and I think that's better than being anything else. I don't know. Some of you might not agree, but for me, that's just the idea that you can become a Gyarados, and I don't know. This is coming out really cheesy, but I think there's something special there. Um, the work ethic, the dedication to Magikarp. Because I guess to become a Gyarados, you can kind of just keep going with the confidence that that'll come true. Now, I did discover a little bit of the lore behind Magikarp, and check this out. Here on Wikipedia, fish in Chinese mythology. So carp in Chinese mythology, if they swim upstream, right, up the Yellow River, and according to that tradition, carp that could swim upstream and leap the falls of the Yellow River at the Dragon Gate, which is at a certain point in the Yellow River. If a carp could swim that far and leap over the falls, it becomes a dragon. Like, the carp will leap over the waterfall, but then continue flying up, and then it becomes a dragon. And that's beautiful to me. There are other Pokemon like this, which were pretty much afterthoughts of Magikarp. For example, Phoebus becomes melodic, and that probably has its own lore, but it's very similar to Gyarados, right? Where you have this completely useless fish, and then it becomes something, for Melodic, very beautiful and very elegant. For Gyarados, it's a rage and powerful beast. Um, and the thing that really dawned on me is that, you know, Magikarp, if it didn't become a Gyarados, it would probably be, you know, just food, I guess. If Magikarp were real, you'd just eat them, right? And I bet even in the Pokemon world, Magikarp are just eaten, you know, and a very, very small percent of them actually become Gyarados, probably, because most of them are totally useless. And the ones that survive, you know, the ones that aren't eaten, the ones that are adopted by a person and taken care of and hone their skills, will become a Gyarados. Or maybe some wild Magikarp out there is just splashing around and eventually, you know, flies over that river and becomes a Gyarados in the wild. And how rare is that? This is probably even more rare than a human trained Magikarp. And I just think, like, just the idea of the delayed gratification, the slow grind, and eventually you have an explosion of I don't want to use the word value because that, I feel like that kind of dehumanizes. I mean, Magikarp's an imaginary thing, but I think it just gives it so much character, so much. It's an inspiring story to me, the story of Magikarp, and I guess we have Mega Gyarados now, but still, it's not the same. Gyarados evolving to Mega Gyarados, that's whatever. It's when Magikarp evolves into Gyarados, that's the cool part. And I think, okay, so what dawned on me recently was that Magikarp is cool because of Gyarados, right? But Gyarados, inversely or conversely, is cool because of Magikarp. Gyarados wouldn't, if you just caught a wild Gyarados and just a bunch of Gyarados and that's the baseline, it's whatever. If everyone was a Gyarados, Magikarp wouldn't be special, or Gyarados wouldn't be special, right? It's just like in The Incredibles, where if everybody's super, then no one is, right? But the fact that 99.99% of Magikarp stay Magikarp, and a very small percent of them become Gyarados and reach that awesomeness, that's what makes Gyarados special. Gyarados is special because for a long period of its life, it was just a useless fish. I don't know, that does that make sense to you guys? I know a lot of you have your own favorite Pokemon for different reasons, but you know, I've been playing Pokemon since I was like 7 years old. I stopped playing the games in Generation 5, and now I'm playing Pokemon Go. It's very much simpler, easier game, and it gets me out and about riding my bike every morning. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully that didn't waste your time, and hopefully that explained to you why I love Magikarp, because I know some of you wanted to know. All right, that's it. Peace out. We'll be back with another video, and let me know what other kinds of videos you want to see, whether it's art related or whether it's just a random question you have. I will answer it in a video. All right. Thank you for listening. Peace. And I love you.